To begin with, I'll let everybody know that I was born and raised in Mexico. I lived down there the first 14 years of my life. Y sí hablo español perfectamente. Estoy aquí para servirle. Todos mis amigos hispanos que están aquí, estoy aquí para servirles. What I just said was, yes, I speak Spanish fluently. I'm here to serve you. Anything I can do to help you. So being born and raised in Mexico, we moved to Southern California in the late 60s. I graduated from Santa Ana High in California in 1972. I subsequently, in 1973, I got married. I started a business. I bought a home. And I had my first child. I do not recommend that anybody try that. That was quite a challenge, but I've learned a lot. I've been a business owner or a business manager basically all my life. I'm not a very good employee. I'm going to speak to you mainly from my business background and the amazing opportunity that we have here today. Also, in 1973, I was introduced to the first network marketing company in the industry. I walked into Long Beach Arena. The convention center there was about 3,000 people in the room, and got started in my first network marketing business back in 1973. And some of you have heard the term garage qualified. If you don't know what that is, look me up later, I can tell you what it means. It took me about 3 years to get rid of the product that was in my garage. Interesting, the history. So I got busy in the business, and basically was very successful in the first business I created until a decision changed that. I then moved to the Northwest. I was tired of Southern California and tired of all the, I tell people affectionately, I said it seemed that it didn't matter what time of day or night you wanted to go do something. There just happened to be 300,000 other people that wanted to go do the exact same thing. So I was tired of Southern California, moved to the Northwest, continued in the venture of business. Was very fortunate to meet Mike and Barbara Lamons in the early 90s. Became dear friends with them. I've had good success in the industry. I've had good success in business. I've also had a lot of failures. And all those failures have taught me a lot. I've learned from every one of them. When I had the opportunity to come and see this business, Mike and Barbara called me up and said the idea that they had, and immediately I just knew that all I had to do was get on a plane and come down and meet the doctor. So and I'll share in a minute about some of my thoughts about the industry, and I'm going to keep it a little short and sweet here. From a business standpoint, the fact that we have this company as far along as it is already is absolutely amazing. And I tell you that from having looked at and seen a lot of the good, the bad, and the ugly in the network marketing industry, and not only the network marketing industry, but traditional business. The synergy of having owners that are the marketers, owners that are the website development, owners that is the product manufacturer, amazing product. The fact that that is all inside is very significant from the standpoint that if you look at all the other companies that I've watched over the years, how long it took them to go outsource all those items and the problems that you have when you have to outsource it. You have a website or a technical issue and you've got an outside source and they're dealing with that. I've watched it create a lot of challenges. It's actually taken companies out because they couldn't get the things done that needed to be done. We're new, we're beginning. There's going to be challenges, but the fact that we have everything internal is just absolutely amazing to me. I mean, it gives us a strength that is unmatched in anything I've seen. So, one of the things that really I've learned over the years about the industry that kind of challenged me was I would walk into distributors' homes, and one thing I was never interested in was in something that people were buying just because they had to buy that in order to get a check. And it's very typical, any company, to be a legitimate company, you have to have product sales. It's what makes the company legitimate. And so I was determined with this when I came across this that, I was going to find out what the product did and have the products actually sell itself. And so what happened was, let me finish telling you about what happens in the industry. And what really turned me off about what I've seen in the industry is you would walk into somebody's home and you would talk to them about your opportunity or whatever, and you'd look in their pantry or in their closet or whatever, and they'd have a stack of product there. They weren't even using the product that they were trying to promote and make money on. And so that just never had any interest in me. So for the first time in all the years that I've been around this industry, I can tell you without a doubt that when I started promoting this product and sharing it, I just was sharing the product. And I was not talking to anybody about the business opportunity. And for the first time in all the people I've ever talked to in the industry or been around, Marcy was the one that I shared the product with. And of course I am a businessman, so I made sure she had my website. I did all that stuff.
Right.
But I never said a word to her about the business. And it was about a week later, she called me, and Sandy and I were driving in the car, and Marcy called me and she said, she'd already heard her amazing story of how she's had such an amazing experience with this product. She called me and says, there's a business opportunity with this, isn't there? And I said, yeah, there is. She said, well, I need to be a part of it. So I share that with you not because I'm suggesting that you go out and expect people to sign up in the business because of it, but it was just pure proof to me that this product is that amazing, that people will get excited about it, and all you have to do is just share it. So I'm going to share with you a little bit about the courage and the amazing thing that has happened and the good fortune we have to have known Mike and Barbara Lamons all these years when they talked about the founder's position, the original founder's position. Never have I seen a company ever start out with this kind of an opportunity to have an opportunity to be paid on the product sales of the whole company. So that to me was just absolutely unheard of, because usually companies get along quite a ways and then they're maybe looking for some money to raise and they have some people come in and invest in the company or have stuff like that. Never have I seen a company that starts out like this. So I'm going to regress back to when I went down and met Doctor and didn't have the opportunity to meet you, David, but I wanted to go get a feel for who this company is. And when I met the Doctor and saw where his heart is, and that he had no interest in anything but producing an amazing product, that he knows how to produce something that actually helps people. And the stories we're getting from all the people that are benefiting from using this product. None of us can thank you enough, Doctor, for being who you are and bringing this to us. And then thanking John for being persistent, being absolutely persistent, and going after the Doctor, knowing after meeting the Doctor and speaking Spanish with the Doctor in our first meeting in February, and knowing that he really didn't want to have anything to do with the industry because of what he saw in the industry. There was so much what he called greed. And I agreed with that because I've seen so many companies over the years digress, and the owners, things change, and all you see, I agree with you, that's all we saw was greed. So to have a company with a product that so many people are benefiting from, and the stories, I was telling people, it seemed like there wasn't a day went by that I didn't hear any story. Now it has come down to the point where there literally isn't an hour goes by that I don't hear another story of somebody benefiting from this product. So I also want to share with you a little bit about courage. And I had spoken with a dear friend of mine, Ricardo, about the opportunity that we had. We didn't have a website, we didn't have a product, we didn't have anything. We just had a few sheets of paper and we were talking about it. And Ricardo really wanted to be a part of the original founders pool. And so he was challenged and trying to find the money and trying to figure it out. And then I called him up. I said, hey, this thing's coming to an end. We're down to the last wire, and there's only a few shares left. And then we all remember when we got the notice from David, or no, from Anthony, that the shares were sold out. So I called Ricardo and I said, sorry, buddy, shares are sold out. And Ricardo had the courage, because he was so determined that he was going to get a Founders Pool share. He called Mike up. And Mike, are you sure? Are you sure they're all sold? Are you sure? And he says, well, I'm working on the final count, and, we're going to figure it out. Ricardo called me that night and he said, Mike says there's 2 shares left. And so I called Mike immediately. And I said, Mike, they're sold. Mine, I'll have the checks in the mail to you tomorrow. And it was right at that time
Don't cry.
that Marcy came along. And Marcy got the very last original founder's share. She is Bocannaco's husband child. And yes, Ricardo got his share. So, with that, let me just wrap it up real quick here with what you do in this industry and what is your job. And I want to thank Ray and Ed and everybody for sharing what they did. I'm just going to corroborate with what you do in this industry. The only thing you do in this industry is you collect decisions. It's not your job to decide what they're going to do. It's not your job for them to say yes or no. That's their job, whoever you're talking to. And I'm telling you, we've never had an easier opportunity, because all you do is pump this in their mouth and it sells itself. And you collect the decisions. And the decisions you're going to get are going to be yeses. Whether they're just a customer or whether they're going to be a business partner with you and build a business, that's their decision. But I've never seen an opportunity where to get that decision is so easy, because we have such an amazing product, thanks to the doctor.
Yes.
The other thing that you do in this industry is you build teams that build teams without you. And you get to the point where, you go through that work, collect some money, and then work, and then pretty soon, you're not working. You're just collecting checks. Doesn't happen today, it doesn't happen tomorrow. But all you have to do is share this product with people. And again, I've never seen anything like this come along that is so simple for us to do. It's such an amazing product. And then you look at the lineup of everything that's coming. Folks, we are in for the ride of our lives. I can tell you that after Con eso, mis amigos, es un gran honor presentarle de nuevo al Dr. Lawrence, el creador de este nuevo producto que tanta gente, y no es un producto nuevo, es un producto que tanta gente se está beneficiando. With that, folks, it's my honor to bring Dr. Lawrence back up. Close the afternoon off, the creator of this amazing product that is helping so many people.